let's flip it over to the other side here. You've already told us that you learned about the Chiefs defense. They have to be a little more active. They have to try to do they're just not, they can't just play base against Josh Allen.
Not against, again, the Bills are different this year, Ahmed. They're on both sides of the ball. Bills can protect the ball better a little this year. We've hit on, Aaron Cromer is their new offensive line coach. Their running plays are a little more creative and, what do I want to say, sound or right, where you go, ooh, that's the run play you want to run against that defensive front, right? Right? They don't run a play and just go, well, we called it, and damn, they got in that front, and it's not the best, but we just run it anyways, right? They ran plays going like, oh, okay, whoa, oh, you're in this alignment. We're going to, have a little trap block inside, and it's going to be a huge hole. So they have that aspect, and the Chiefs came out trying to play two shell, but it was just too easy. Allen is, of course, smart. The offense is good. And their O-line is now capable of blocking the Kansas City Chiefs. And that to me was pretty apparent that, like, they're going to have to do something different. They can't just go, we're going to play too deep, because they were going to die a slow death, and he was going to end up being like, 38 of 45 for 450 yards if they just sat there and played coverage like they've done years and years past in this matchup.
And you noted there was a late 4th and 3 where they confused Josh Allen, and so some of this stuff was working. Let's take a look at the graphic on how the blitz worked against Josh Allen. Similar thing that we did with Patrick Mahomes. So he was 20 of 24 when not blitzed. So that speaks to your point of they needed to do something.
They had
needed
to.
figure
They
something
could not
out.
sit back. He was going to carve them apart.
So he was 7 of 16 when he was blitzed. So that's better if you're the Chiefs. But he did have 2 touchdowns also against the blitz.
I know. That's again,
pick your poison.
Pick your poison. Exactly right. And that's where I'm not going to sit here and fault the defensive game plan. Again, it was 17 points with, he threw the touchdown with 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the game. So, they had to do this. This was out of necessity. This wasn't one where, me, I don't always like the over blitz team.
Yep.
But this is one where I go, they had to. They had no choice. Yeah, he got burned, with the Davis throw and the Diggs throw. But also within that, okay. It was the perfect throw. It wasn't like it was like, how could you do this and leave this guy one-on-one with Stephon Diggs? This is insane. How stupid are they? It was just his 3 touchdown passes were like they're unstoppable. The guy they didn't even have to put up their hands. If they just opened up their pocket, it was going to fall in there. It came back to bite him in the butt. And if there was going to be one I was going to be picky on, it would be the Gabe Davis 34-yard pass, because if I remember correctly, that was like a 3rd and 10 situation. Maybe
was that end of the first half?
That was
that was a huge drive.
That was
in
a
the
huge
game.
drive.
You noted that
third
and 12, end of the first half from the 1 yard line.
Exactly, and there was a number of marquee plays on that drive, let alone the 3rd down in cut he hit to get off the goal line. That really, was probably the play of the game as far as that's concerned there. But yeah, that was maybe the only one I questioned a little bit, was that one right before the half, just because, hey, time's ticking here. It's running out. Let them kick the field goal. It's a win. A field goal is a win. And it was like they went and were like, hey, all right. And let me say this too. We saw the stats. He was 7 of 16. I want to preface this too. Yeah. He's 7 of 16. It caught the Bills by surprise, the blitzes and stuff. The reason they went a few drives without not doing anything is they were like, oh shit. We weren't quite ready for them to do all of this stuff. It took them a little while to adjust. And the blitzes were, what I like to, it was, cool ones too. It wasn't obvious. It was blitz 2, drop 1. So it was 5-man pressures, and then they would change up the coverages behind it. But yeah, I guess to that point, that's the only one I question throughout the game.
Yeah.
Is just that one there. And, and
they were kind of ready
down
for
a
it.
Distance, but I can't sit there and figure it out.
They were kind of ready for it too, and I think you noted it was in that drive that they had 7 blockers for the 7 rushers.
No,
at times.
It was, and that was the other thing that bothered me about the play, where I wanted to be like, man, don't they have like a check out of it? Like, oh wait, they're in a formation. They were clearly waiting for the pressure. It was 2 backs in the backfield. They had stepped up. They were going to sort it out, and they did, of course, sort it out, and that left Gabe Davis one-on-one, and like I said, he threw the perfect pass. But, yeah, I mean, there was a number of unbelievable plays and throws on that drive. The one coming out of the end zone, like I said, the in-cut, a 3rd and 12. I mean, he moves and then kind of stops and then pulls up and throws the ball there. And then a few plays later, they're playing cover 2, not blitzing, and he hits Stephon Diggs on one of his amazing cover 2 hole shots that really, it's like him, Mahomes, and Justin Herbert, and like that's about it. They can make those type of throws. He makes that throw, and then a few plays later, there was that, and that was just that was a key moment of the football game.
Scored there, and then scored the first possession of the second half, I think, and so and then they were off and running, but still had to come back and score late. A special tip of the cap to the offensive line. You said they were able to run the ball early, and a tip of the cap to the center, Mitch Morse. Oh, you liked him on tape.
I've loved Mitch Morse. Anybody that knows or listened to the podcast, even before I got NBC, he's one of the most underrated old linemen in football. He really is. You know, Jason Kelsey's always the guy that we always talk about with, center. Mitch Morse has had a career it's not that far off from Kelsey. He's the same type of guy, maybe not quite as athletic as Kelsey, but damn is he athletic. I mean, he's a phenomenal football player. He really is. And some of those run plays that he ran, let alone, his ability to pass block and reasons you don't hear Chris Jones's name a whole lot in the football game and stuff. It's because he's damn good. Yeah. And they can do some intricate stuff of like I was kind of telling you, right guard block down. Now he pulls around real quick and gets up to the weak side linebacker. Those are things that not a lot of centers in football can do to his level. And that does give them another advantage or wrinkle in their offense. Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my Unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.